All right.
Dude, for me, it was like Bluetooth signal on and off, but I hope it worked out well for
Yeah,
you.
worked well for me.
Okay, you got the better one. I knew I would give the better one too.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. How did it make you feel?
It takes me back. Really takes me back to like being there,
Awesome.
which is a good feeling.
Well, we're gonna take it back because this is the We're Gonna Make It podcast. The name is thanks to you, right? Because we named the podcast at your house.
Right.
So I'm like super thankful
Right.
for you to come back and then have this episode and then talk about all the good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm very honored to be here, and I still love the name. I think it's so positive. It really fits you well.
Thank you so much. And then, I hope it will last a long, long time, this name, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
getting started.
But talk about names, talk about dreams, talk about positivity. We're going to start with you because you're you.
That's true.
That's true. But now you have made so many projects that have come to fruition and come to life
Also
that
true.
I thought like it's time. I reached out to you months ago, and then you're like, Patrick, it's gonna be time. Wait until this moment comes. And then you dropped something that was like, oh my God. And then now I'm like, of course I had to wait this much, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that made sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, but before we talk about the good new, let's talk about the way back.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to ask you about your musical journey and at the start of your musical journey, right? So how did you start as a musician? What influences did you have as a child, perhaps as a teenager in your musical journey? How did it kick off for you?
Right. Yeah. At the risk of sounding cliche, I think I had a very foundational childhood there. My dad is hugely into music, had this very eclectic CD collection because that's what you would listen to back in the day. Everything, and a lot of like these big names that I didn't understand back then when I was like 3-4 years old, but like Miles Davis and the Rolling Stones and Santana and the Beatles and really all genres, I would say. Like we would listen to rock and blues and ballads, like we would listen to Barbra Streisand. And when you're a kid, you don't really have any preconceived notions about these. I think like listening to Barbra Streisand as a 50-year-old maybe would be considered a little bit silly or something like that. But coming from that background where all music was as good, if you like it, you like it, that made me really take that in like a sponge. And then I started playing music, watching The Simpsons. I don't know if you've seen this episode where Lisa starts playing the saxophone.
Yep.
And I thought, well, that's really cool. I don't want to play the saxophone. So I started doing that. And that's where I started. And then for some dumb reason, when I was starting high school, I was afraid I wouldn't have time. So rather than finding out whether I would or not, I just quit ahead of time. But then I found the guitar. We had a guitar at school, and I realized, well, with a guitar you can write songs. You can't really do that with just a saxophone. And I started getting into more like songwriting stuff. I discovered Bob Dylan and people like that. And then I started writing songs, and then I also realized that it's really fun doing arrangements. So then I had to learn more instruments for that reason. So I started playing the bass and the piano and stuff like that. And I guess now we're here.
Now we're here, and I know you embrace a lot of good songs. I heard you sing Bob Dylan, I heard you sing Taylor Swift.
That's true.
So I want to know your influences. Who are the names that influence you the most? Perhaps you want to play with them, or perhaps you wanted to play with them in the past, or perhaps still do to the present day.
Yeah.
Are there people you want to collaborate with still?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, with your biggest idols, you're a little bit scared you won't like live up to their expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like my biggest idol for sure is Bon Iver, or Justin Vernon is the guy's name who has the Bon Iver band or project. For me, I feel that he's so much of a genius, I would be scared to be in the same room as him. I really love hip hop, even though you probably don't hear that in my music. Like Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite artists. I would love to work with him. I have big love for a lot of small artists that you maybe haven't heard of, like Becky and the Birds is a girl from Sweden. It's kind of starting to blow up now. I would love to work with her. There's this guy Dijon, who you might have seen in the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie because it's actually in the movie. It's playing a small role there. So yeah, so many people. I mean, it would be a dream to work with Taylor Swift if I ever could. I hope she gets sick of like the pop star part of her life and wants to start like a small band doing like small shows, I'll be there. I'd love to play with Lizzie McAlpine. That's one of my big dreams in life, playing with her and her band. She's really cool.
I know you're a prolific songwriter too, so do you have like prepared songs for some? Or you're about to write some?
Oh yeah, actually not as many as I'd like, I realize now that you say so, but I have maybe 2 artists. There's this really small like southern band called the Wailing Jennies. It's a trio of girls named Jenny. I have something that I've always thought, like, if I ever meet them, I'll show them this song.
Does it have a title, or are you willing to give it away, the title?
I'm actually not sure about the title. Sometimes the song we listened to, and maybe we're going to talk about later, I came up with the title like after it had been recorded even. For the longest time, I was like, I don't know what this is called.
Okay, yeah. Because my next question was going to be about the latest and greatest project,
Right.
Peace.
Yeah.
And it just came out, and everyone is happy to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I want to ask the beginning of it, which is about the usual question for me, like what's the title and then how did it come about? But you mentioned that it was the end of it, so yeah. So how did it begin then? With no title? What, was it only an idea in your head?
Yeah, it was only an idea. I knew that I was gonna get to go to this magical place where I've always wanted to go, Sonic Ranch, which I thought I would never be able to go to. It's a recording studio in Texas. And I'd been told almost a year in advance that I would be able to go there and record a song. So then, of course, like if you get one chance to go to a place you never thought you would be able to go to, but you've always dreamed of going to, what's the song? Like I had to write a new one. I couldn't pick one that I had all written, and I had to write one for this.
By the way, like I love your song. So if you would have recorded like any of other songs, like for example, "Dance with Me" or like or other songs.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would have been totally. I would have been happy.
Yeah, thank you. I guess it was more for me. Like I wanted to write this song for this place, and I knew I would get to work with like good musicians and stuff like that. So my thought was, if I only ever get to write one song in this place, what would that be about? And it would be about the thing that I would like to say to the world. If I only get to say one thing, what would that be? And that would be this thing that this song talks about. And then I know you don't want to be like too preachy. You don't want to just tell people like, love each other. But rather I wanted to make it into a story, and you know that I write stories as well.
Yes.
So that's kind of how it came into this final form. Like I want to talk about this thing, I want to make it into a story. So now it's about like gold prospectors kind of. And then I started to find like music that sounded like what that was about. So music came first, even though I knew what the song was going to be about. And then lyrics are always really slow for me. I hear a lot of artists saying like, oh, we wrote this in 30 minutes. For me, like if I've written lyrics over a month, that's extremely fast for me.
Wow. I mean, good things take time.
Yeah, I guess for some people, you know, you hear some of the best songs in the world were written like 15 minutes, and good on them. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah. Was there a person that inspired you to make this, or did you get your inspiration from your own?
Yeah, sound-wise, it was definitely the band. I had recently kind of rediscovered the band. I don't know if you know this band called The Band.
I don't know them. It's just literally The Band?
Yeah, they're called The Band. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were this legendary group in the 70s because a lot of other musicians, like Eric Clapton, loved them so much. He was already famous, and he loved them so much that he wanted to ask them to be his band or maybe to play in their band, and he chickened out, so he never did. And then Bob Dylan beat him to the punch, so they actually recorded an album together, but all the musicians at that time were like, The Band is the greatest band. And they'd recorded a song called "The Wait." I think that's their biggest hit. I think people know it, even though they might not know that it's The Band. And that was a huge inspiration to me. I wanted to write something that was like that. I think you can hear that.
There's a moment in your song that is amazing. Every bit of it is amazing, but that I love that part when everybody says,
so
stop.
Yeah, right.
How did you make people, I assume it's like a bunch of people saying stop at the same time.
Yeah.
How do you make that happen?
Yeah, it was about 20 people. So the background here is this was actually a workshop for mixing engineers.
Okay.
And the guy hosting the workshop, Thomas Juth, which is a great mixing engineer, he asked me, because we're friends, we need to record something, can we record you? So most of the rest of these people saying stop are like mixing engineer students. And I was originally just going to sing stop myself, and then Thomas actually said, wait, let's do something fun here. We're a bunch of people. So we tried it. So we just brought everyone into the studio. We did that. We also had them sing the last chorus. You can hear them singing along there as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love these little stories in there, because you never know what resonates with people, and it sure does this time.
I love hearing that. And I think some of the best moments in art in general, right, are moments where you just had the idea, you tried it, and it worked, rather than something you'd planned months and months prior.
Oh yeah, a little bit of improvisation, which I'm sure you're familiar with, is always welcome.
Yeah, I think so.
So there's this idea that popped into my life that at one point I was dating this opera singer, and we dated for 5 days. I know, best 5 days of my life.
Wow.
Right? So yeah, and then turns out she had a boyfriend in Berlin or something, and that could have made me upset or like angry, but I was like wise, and I was like, okay, how can I find peace in this moment? So I put on your song, Peace.
Wow.
And then it made me smile. Wow. So in my mind, I'm like, I have to return this favor, man, because ever since then I've been smiling. So
that's the best story. That's, if one person had this experience, it was worth it. It was worth it still, because it was really fun. But touching someone else, that's what you want to do with your stuff, with your songs.
And I want to ask you about your audience. So how do you approach friends and fans and your audience? How do you imagine them listening to your music?
That's a very good question. I imagine that they're pretty varied. I don't know a lot of the listeners. I know some, of course, like friends and family that you say, and I think even those people are pretty different, because I have these music nerdy friends. They listen to it in another way. They'll even like ask me, can you send me the mix before you mastered it? I want to hear the differences. You have nerds like that, and then there are people who love moments like this, or love the lyrics, and hardly like listen to the actual music. And I think whatever grabs you, that's good. I don't think there's any right way to listen to it. And I know for me, I listen to different music in different ways. Like music that makes me dance, I rarely listen to the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can listen to your lyrics or not listen to your lyrics, but we can enjoy it regardless.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I mean, I think personally, when you get the platform with a song or something like that, where you get to say something, well, we'll say something. But then if people don't listen, it should still be a good experience. So that was the goal here. I hope I managed to achieve it.
You achieved it, and more than that, I think.
Wonderful.
So yeah, congratulations, John.
Thanks.
So yeah, this is also like a impressive thing that you did. You painted. Can you tell me more about the album cover?
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. So I've been loving photography for quite a long time. Fell out of love with it for a little while, and then I got into like YouTube videos about analog photography, so I didn't have an analog camera myself. But then at some point I felt like, no, I have to try this for myself.
1 second, there's a loud screaming of amazingly outdoorsy environment.
Yeah. This means we're live for real.
We're live, by the way. Everybody who, maybe you don't hear it, maybe people don't hear it because the sound cancellation is like, but we're testing these microphones, and we'll see in post how well they fit to this environment. Yeah. Sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah, so I was saying...
Do you know what you wanted to say?
Yes.
Okay, so please continue.
Yes. So finally I had to try for myself. So I got an analog camera, and this made me fall back in love with photography, because you only have a few shots, and also you don't know how it's going to turn out before you develop it. So of course, going here to Sonic Ranch, I had to bring my analog camera.
So the background of this piece is the Sonic Ranch?
Yes, it's the Sonic Ranch.
Wow!
And you know what's
it looks amazing.
What's even cooler? So it's like a little house.
Yes.
And that's their smallest recording studio. So they have 4 recording studios. This is their smallest one. And I was told by the guy who helped us, who works there and lives there, that my idol then, Justin Vernon, Bon Iver, recorded all of the vocals basically for his latest album in that house. So that was the reason I took the picture, and then I just thought it looked really cool. And when I realized the song was Peace, well, that was definitely like a peace of mind moment for me, being there.
Let's pause that. How did you realize the song was called Peace? Because I was gonna ask, like, how did you come to the title? And now you do have the title. So what
Right.
was that moment of realization? You're looking at the picture and then you realize, oh, it's peaceful?
Well, I mean, I do sing the word peace quite a few times in the song, and I think like the idea was floating around, but for the longest time I thought it was too simple. Or maybe even a little bit cheesy. Maybe it is. I don't know. But at some point, it just felt like, no, this is what it is called, and this is what I'm talking about. Like that's my whole idea. I think the world would be more peaceful if we would be just like you are, more interested in the other person's perspective. Tell your story first. I can tell my story later.
What story? How I came to learn your music, or?
No, I just mean in general, like having that attitude towards other people who maybe have something to tell or have a differing opinion, just saying, go ahead, say your piece first.
Yeah.
I'll say mine later.
Yeah.
I think that would make a more peaceful world if more of us could do that.
Dude, can somebody elect John for world president right now? We're looking for a world president out here, and then we need elections. Yeah, that would be great,
I don't know about that.
Well, do you think music can bring peace to the world? I think there's many musicians out there who aspire to make a change with their music. What kind of change do you aspire to make with your music? Is it personal? Because it sure has made my day and kept me smiling for a while. And ever since then, I've been smiling, right? So
wonderful. I think music for me can sometimes have a very therapeutic effect, like getting through a breakup. I think there are a few things better than music, and even just hearing someone else going through a breakup, like, oh right, I'm not alone. Even though we know this, you still need to be reminded from time to time, like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
But also it can give you some ideas, like, oh, maybe I'm actually not a good person, or at least in terms of what this song is talking about. Like maybe I should listen to people more or something like that. But then also I just think it's like a great break from everything. Like it's such a short form of escapism. I know now in this world that we live in, I hear more and more people saying like, oh, I can't make it through a whole movie. Like that's too much to focus on. Well, maybe you can put on a song for 3 minutes if you're having like a bad day at work, and that will make your day a little bit better, make you calm down or something like that. So I think all art, but music definitely has this great potential to heal and just make people feel better.
I think that's interesting that you use the word escapism, because it can be used that way in music, but I think more often than not, it's not used for escapism, but rather I call it embraceism, where you really like have a moment and you're like a birthday, and we have a birthday song that we sing to celebrate the occasion, right? Happy birthday to you, right? So, and then also like there are moments in life when you put on a song and it becomes even better. Right, so I think that's what I call by embraceism.
Can definitely help ground you in the moment, right?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about the future or the past, you put on the song and you can be here and now and like stare out the window while you're on the bus or something like that.
Absolutely, and it makes it cool.
Yeah, and it makes it cool.
Otherwise, you're just like traffic.
Yeah, that should have been my reply. I just want to make the world cooler.
Perfect. Awesome. How much time did it take you? Because you said like you've been invited to this place a year ago.
Yeah.
How much time did it take you? What was there like? What was the process like? Was there a writing block? Was there challenges?
Yeah, there was definitely a writing block, because how am I ever gonna do this right for this place? Then I'm always like this. I feel when I'm creating something, for the longest time, I feel like I'll never come up with like the perfect thing, and then I come up with something and I just know like that's what it is. And when I have that feeling, I never second guess it. But that took a while before I had, snippets, like starts of songs and like different riffs on the guitar, or I started on the piano and I was like, no, this isn't it. When I had this, I knew like this is it. This is the thing I'm going to continue working on. There are probably like 18 different versions of the lyrics. There's a almost 6-minute version, which Thomas, the guy who had the workshop, said like this is too long, man. And I thought, oh no, how can I make it shorter? Then we're gonna lose out on all this. But I'm happy we did, and you could play a longer version live, I guess. And then for this, because we just had the day, I had to record a demo that was as complete as possible. So I played saxophone with like a keyboard, so it was pretty complete when I got there.
Was it Logic or what software did you use?
Logic. Okay, yeah. And then I took it there, I showed it to people, And it was just like a full day. We started like, I think 9 in the morning, and we probably finished around midnight. We had some
And the song was ready
lunch
by
breaks,
the end of the day?
basically,
I'm just asking because you told me like there were like a bunch of student music engineers.
Yeah.
So did they do their right job, or were they happy to?
Yeah,
jump in?
definitely. I mean, the students were mostly observing, but then some of them, like
okay.
one of them actually was such a good piano player that we brought him on to play the organ.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any organ in the demo. We just saw like, wow, there's an organ here. And then we said, can anyone play keys? And he said, yeah, I can try. And I think that's like an integral part of the song now.
What's their name? Do you recall?
His name?
Yeah.
His name is Ed Vares. He's actually a
Shout out to Ed Vares.
Yeah, singer-songwriter from Mexico. Really cool guy.
Amazing.
Really cool guy. A lot of cool people there. We recorded like a few more things in the morning just before everyone else came in. I had like 2 more things, but basically we did everything in a day. Mm-hmm. Didn't add anything later.
Mm-hmm. So you're happy with the results too, right?
I am. I think if, say, we would have stayed there for longer, I probably would have added more stuff, and I don't think that would have made it better. Mm-hmm.
Focus creates clarity, and clarity creates enjoyment, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Well, John, you're a writer, you're a singer, you're a musician, you're a director, you're a storyteller, and you're a friend who makes magic happen. I want to hear some of your ways, if you're open to sharing some of your ways or some of your secrets. How do you approach projects with a certain kind of right way? Or is every project unique in their own way, so you have to like have a certain kind of attitude that I'm achieving it in its own way, but will be good in its own way? So do you have some sort of secrets to share?
That's a very good question, and like you're saying here, we're talking about different things then, because
By the way, like one of the secrets that I do, sorry for interrupting, I literally like when you said like, hey, let's do it in the park, and I was like, okay, it will be raining, but it's fine. I'm like, yeah, I bought the microphones and all that good stuff, so it will be covered by everything. So I'm like, but I'm so excited to do this, right? Because like I've never done anything like this before, and then who knows if I'm gonna do or when I'm gonna do something like this again, but we're in the park, it's raining, and then we're just having fun and talking.
Is it raining, or are we just holding umbrellas?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Yeah. But back to you. So what are your secrets, John, if you were to share?
Well, I think one thing you said there, like being truly passionate about it, I think I've heard this so many times before in other interviews, but it still holds true. I think that if you think like I'm doing this for someone else, or like I should be doing this now because it's the right move for my career, you're not going to be passionate about it, and that's going to shine through time and time again. I think passionate is really contagious, and I think, I mean, I listen to music by artists that like they can't really sing, and they don't have the equipment, and they might even not play the song right, but you can tell that they love what they're doing. And I just want to hear that. I just want to hear someone loving what they do. That can be the best thing. That can be so much better than a well-recorded song with like the best studio musicians if the love isn't there. And the same goes for movies. I know you do a lot with movies, with acting. I think if people say that sometimes in reviews, it feels like this actor just did it for the money. And I think you can tell sometimes. I hope they're right when they say that. And I think you can tell through interviews with people generally when they do it, because this is something really they wanted to do.
So your secret is love and passion?
Love and passion, yeah.
That sounds like such a good thing to do, man. Like, I applaud you for this.
Yeah, I think you get very far with that. And then that's that tricky part with trusting your gut. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I know what that means yet, but I think it's important too. And I guess you develop a sense for that, right? Like you do a billion projects as well, right?
I try my best.
Yeah, and you actually follow through. Like I see time and time again on like Facebook, now I'm done with this. Like now I released this thing. How do you know you're done? You just know, or what would you say?
Well, it's easy for me to know because when I run a half marathon, there's a starting point and there's an end point, right? So yeah, but in between there's challenges, right? So, but I think it's the hardest thing when you're like in the middle of it and you don't know if you're gonna do this, right? So I just try not to second guess myself and say, I'm just gonna follow it through. Even if it's gonna be the worst project ever, I'm just gonna follow it through,
Right.
and then be happy with what I have done.
Right.
And then other people don't have to necessarily appreciate it. I have to appreciate it because I
Yeah.
make it for myself.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
did it, and that's always worth something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, better to have done, and even if it's bad, like you've learned something. The
Yeah,
next
yeah.
thing will be better for it.
But luckily, like when you do something for yourself, others join in and they appreciate what you do. So it's not like an isolating
Right.
thing. It's more like a, oh, I see you thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's also actually a key to both succeeding in actually making something, but also finishing it, inviting other people in. And that can be really difficult, I think, because you want it to be perfect before they come in, but trying to invite people in just to come with their ideas, being open to that, I think that makes a huge difference and usually makes it a lot more fun as well.
Absolutely. I know you are very secretive about the next.
Uh-huh. I'm
don't have
not
to-
even sure what the next is.
Okay, you
The
don't have to.
next
You don't
maybe,
have to
but-
share, but like, do you? Because you said there are more things coming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Do
I'm-
you have like a concepts in mind that you don't have to be exactly clear about them, but I'm happy to listen to.
I can tell you. So before I released this song and this other cover I did, I released an EP, which you referenced with the first song, "Dance with Me," and that one is called "No Feeling ... Part 1." So there is obviously a part 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we both have that, and then actually another project. So "Peace" is the first single for another project, and I'm not really sure which one is going to be released first. I'm
Oh
working
my
on them in
God.
parallel.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm dealing with scope creep right now.
What does that mean?
I love this word, scope creep. I think it comes from like IT development.
Okay.
That you think you're gonna develop this like feature app maybe, and
Yes.
then you get this cool idea. Wouldn't it be cool if we added this and this and this, and then
Yes.
you go over budget and you're never done?
Oh man.
Yeah. So while I was waiting for stuff for this part 2 thing to happen, I was gonna record one song that turned into 2 songs, and then I thought, well, it would be cool if it was a 3-song project, and now it's turning to a 7-song project.
Dude, but you're prolific, man. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Keep
so.
at it. Keep doing that.
So there are definitely things coming, and also we have a short film in post-production that has nothing to do with music, or with my music, anyways. But
It has to do with love and passion.
exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, final question of the day.
Ooh.
Do you think, by the way, like when I say final question of the day, like I don't know what I'm asking. So it's like I'm improvising in the moment.
Oh.
So I love this. Like I always put out like, do you think, and I have to follow up with some sort of logical sentence material. Then I'm like, do you think, okay, but then it has to be like entertaining and enjoyable too, right? So this is
I
the
love
inner
that
workings of my
concept.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one knows what's gonna happen now.
Yeah, but in a good way, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is it. But like, do you think atmosphere makes a difference? And do you think atmosphere can be embodied or embraced in many different ways? How do you embody atmospheres? And how does this atmosphere inspire you?
Oh, definitely. I love atmospheres. There are movies that I wouldn't recommend to anyone, but that I will watch like 10 times over because they have the best atmosphere. And
Right.
I don't know if other people are gonna like pick up on that or like that, but yeah, that's an important thing for me. Or music, or even, yeah, I mean, places to go. Like I love cafes and parks and stuff like that. So I think atmosphere is very important for inspiring you. Definitely, I've been inspired a lot by atmospheres, being in a place or even thinking about a place. Like that's a wonderful thing about like Google now. You can, or the internet, you can just Google a place you've never been, and you can watch someone else walking around there for an hour, and you can get inspired and think about what it's like being there. And I think you can create atmosphere in a lot of different ways. I don't know if you've heard about this thing that the Danish people stole from us Swedes.
Tell me more.
They call it hygge.
Okay.
We call it mys in Swedish, so it's the same thing. But they beat us to the punch in like writing the book about it that everyone read about. But it's really just about like creating a cozy atmosphere, and it comes from us Scandinavians being inside so much because the weather is so bad and it's so cold all the time. So I know in a lot of other cultures you'll see your friends like outside in cafes or restaurants or in the park, but it's always cold. So you invite people over, and then you need to create a cozy atmosphere. So we're big into the IKEA furniture with the pillows and stuff like that, and candlelight and all that stuff. So I come from a culture where that is important, and I really believe it is in so many ways. I'm big into mental health, as you know as well, and I think it's very important for our mental health. What our atmosphere is like, I think, can make a huge difference. So yeah, very, very good question. Very interesting topic.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can I ask what your thoughts are on that before
On
we end?
atmosphere?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that music creates atmosphere instantly.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that there's
sure.
this magical device called a phone that can make, or sometimes computers, but
Yeah.
like make songs happen, and then they put you in a different atmosphere. Even if you're just on your headphones or loudspeakers or earphones, they always work for me. Then they don't necessarily have to be like fitting for the right environment, right? Because some people say like, oh, it's a pink room, therefore it has to have Blackpink, this Korean band playing.
I know them. I know them.
Yeah. So, but it can be a pink room, and then you can play any other song, right? AC/DC or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it will turn that room into whatever you're hearing. Yeah, music is incredibly important for atmosphere. Definitely.
So I think that idea of atmosphere, and it can be instantaneously created, perhaps like in like a chemical attraction wise too. There's like you're attracted to this place because it has a good atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And then I think music is a magical device that can create instantaneous atmosphere. So that's why I love music so much. That's why I love your music so much, because
Thank
you create that atmosphere for me.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's amazing, man. Keep doing that. So
Will do.
I appreciate what you do, and then wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. This has been it.
Wonderful.
Let's shake
Wonderful.
hands, man.
Yeah, great conversation. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.